Hello friends, so today we're gonna discuss this problem B from the Code Forces round 646, problem named subsequence heat. So Shubham has a binary string S. Binary string is a string consisting of only characters 0 and 1. So he can perform the following operation in which he can flip any of the index he chooses. Okay, so a string is called good if it does not contain any of the subsequence of 0 1 0 or 1 0 1. So you have to find out the minimum number of operations you have to perform so that the string becomes good. Okay, so now as you can see, there are different test cases and this is the input. So subsequence is the one in which if you remove some like places or characters from between, then the remaining characters in the same order should not be equal to this. As you can see in this is actually equal to 101. This is equal to 0 1 0. In this last example, if I take down this 0 and take down this position 1 and 0, then the remaining will be 0 1 0. As you can see, it is here. So you only want to find out the good sequence in which there is no such subsequence, and you have to like convert this string into a good string which doesn't contain this subsequence in the minimum number of things. So I've written down uh, that only example. So if you just clearly observe that question, you can easily see that that will only happen if there is a 1 and a 0 on the left of it and a 0 on the right of it, or if there is a 0 and there is a 1 on the left of it and a 1 on the right of it. So it can easily see that we can either should have all the zeros or all the ones, or we can only have 1 1 and all the zeros, only 1 0 and all the ones, such that there is no like a peak formation, because you can assume it to a peak, like there is a 0 then 1 and 0, or there can be a 1 0 and 1. So there is a peak in which there is a like change, but we just want a function in which there is only 1 and 1 and 0 rest of them, or all the zeros and on the 1 rest of them, so that we cannot find a subsequence which has 0 and 1. So these are the possible combinations for this. It can be all zeros, all ones. This. So how can we find out and check all these combinations very fast? So that's the main logic now. Okay. First, we can easily calculate the total number of zeros and total number of ones in this. I've calculated here total number of zeros and total number of ones, which is 4 and 2. Now, so now what we'll do is, if the first thing we want to convert everything into 0. So we want to find out the total number of ones. The total number of ones, if these operations are done only of 2, then we can convert only these two into 0 and the answer will be there. Else, the total, we can convert everything into 1, because these are actually 1 already. We don't have to convert them 1 again. We have to only convert zeros into 1. And how many zeros are there? Total zeros are 4. So we can easily see that the total zeros are 4, and so 4 operations are required to convert everything to 1. So we can easily check these two conditions. These two. Now we want to check all these conditions. So now what we can do, we can maintain a prefix, and we have to at every position find out how many zeros are there till that ith position and how many zeros are there ahead of this position. So how we can find out? Because we have found out a total number of zeros which is equal to 4 and total number of 1 equal to 2. If we iterate over the I, and at every position we count again how many total number of zeros we have seen. So as you can see, if our I is at this position, we can easily see, because now I is on 0, the total number of zeros till now is equal to 1, and because we know the total number of zeros is equal to 4, so how many zeros are there which are ahead of it? 4 minus 1, which is 3. Okay, if we are on this position and we know this is the third 0, we have counted out how many zeros we have seen till now. If our I is moving like this, we know that this is the third 0, because we are moving from left to right, and we know that total number of zeros is equal to 4. So now we have calculated the prefix of zeros, and we can easily find out the suffix of zeros. And same, we can easily find out the prefix of 1 and the suffix of 1. till at any position I, because we know the total number of zeros, and when we are iterating our I from left to right, we can easily find out how many zeros we have seen till now and how many ones we have seen till now, and we know the total number of zeros and 1, and we can easily find out the prefix and suffix. Now if we form, like, we want to find out this situation in which we want to convert, or like at any ith position we want to, our main target is, we can either convert all the rest of the position which are I plus 1 to 0 and convert all the position till I to 1, or we can convert all the rest of the position till I to 0 and convert all the rest of the position to 1. So there are two conditions and we have to check every condition at every point. So we are iterating, and then how we can check out, our first condition is we want to convert all the ones till now we have encountered to 0. So we have to find out how many ones are there in the prefix till now we have seen, and then we want to convert all the, so what we can see is, and want to convert all the how many zeros are here in the suffix, because we want to convert them into 1, and we want to see how many like ones are there in the prefix, we want to convert them into 0. I'll tell you with this example. If R, we want to convert into this thing, I is at the first position, or I is at this position, and we want to convert this into this string. So, or we are at this position, we want to find out how many ones are there till I, how many ones are there. So we can easily find out the ones which is prefix of 1. Okay, and because we want to convert everything into 1, so what we can easily do is, we want to find out how the number of zeros are there. If we find out how many zeros are there in the prefix, we can see that all the zeros should be converted to 1. So now we have all the ones there. Now we want to convert everything to 0 here. So if we want to convert everything to 0, we want to find out how many ones are there. So this is the second condition. We want to find out the prefix of zeros and suffix of 1. Else we want to find out how many, we want to convert everything to 0 here. So now we want to find out how many ones are there in the prefix, and we want to convert everything to 0 here and all everything to 1 here. And if you want to convert everything from 1 here, we want to find out how many zeros are there. So suffix of zeros. So at every position we want to find out the prefix of 1 plus suffix of 0, or prefix of 0 plus suffix of 1, and you want to find out the minimum of these conditions. I'll tell you with the code. So this is the code. Suffix of 0 and suffix of 1. We will iterate over from 1 till n. We will increment suffix of 0 and suffix of 1, just means how many total of zeros and total of ones are there. Now our answer initially will be minimum of this, because I told you everything can be converted to 0 or everything can be converted to 1. So the initial answer will be minimum of these two. Now we will iterate over from 0 till n, and we will see if s of I is equal to 0, then we will increment our prefix array, prefix of 0. Else this is not 0, it will be 1, we will increment our prefix of 1. And same, because we have updated our prefix, we want to decrement it from the suffix, and the suffix should be decremented, because we want to calculate how many zeros are there on the right hand side of that I. Then the answer will be minimum of these two conditions, prefix of 1 plus suffix of 0, or prefix of 0 plus suffix of 1 at every ith. And then when we come out of this loop, the answer is just, which is the minimum of all the conditions. I hope you understand the logic as well as the code. If you still have any doubts, please mention now. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you next one. Bye.